Okay, here we are checking our work from lesson 99. Number 8, we had to transfer our questions into equations. 10% of is times what number is equal 20. So I changed 10% to 0.1 times what number equals 20, divided both sides by 0.1. The what number is 200. Number 9 was kind of a difficult problem. They gave us the circle with an inscribed triangle, and they told us that angle BDC, that's what this one here, measures 60 degrees. And I determined that DB and CD were equal because they're both radiuses of the circle. And if the sides are equal, that means the angles opposite those sides are equal. And we already know one is 60, so that means the other is 60. 60 and 60 make 120. So there's only 180 degrees in the whole triangle. So that told me that triangle BCD was an equilateral triangle. That's how I answered B. And then in the directions, it told us that angle BCD and ACD were complementary. That means they add up to 90. So that means this angle here is a 90-degree angle. So that makes triangle ABC a right triangle. And then on triangle ADC, I said that segment AD and segment DC were equal. They are both radiuses of the circle, or radii of the circle. So two sides are equal. That gives me an isosceles triangle. I forgot to do B on number 8. Sorry, guys. B on number 8 is 20 is what percent of 60? So I divided both sides by 60. 20 divided by 60 is 1/3. To go from fraction to percent, I had memorized that 1/3 is 33 1/3%, but if you don't have it memorized, take 1/3, multiply it by 100%, you get 100% divided by 3, and then go ahead and divide 100% by 3, and you'll get 33 1/3%. Number 10. This is an original change new problem. It says that the cost of the call decreased 20%. So the cost before was $3.40. They want to know the new cost of the call. So I get rid of this category. My proportion is 100 over 80 is equal to $3.46 over n, and is equal to $2.72. Number 11. I made number 11 more work than it actually was. It says on number 11, an item is on sale for 20% off the regular price. They want to know the sale price is what percent of the regular price. Well, if it's 20% off, then the sale price is going to be 80% of the original price. Number 13. Okay, this is one of our new types of problems. Use a ratio box to solve the problem on a 1 to 60 scale model airplane. That means 1 unit, whether it's inches or whatever, on the model is equal to 60 on the actual airplane, okay? The wingspan is 8 inches on the model. They want to know how long the wingspan is on the actual airplane in inches, and then they want us to change it into feet. So my proportion is 1 is to 60, as 8 is to the actual number of inches. So I did my multiplying. That's 480 inches. Divide 480 inches by 12 to get 40 feet. Number 15. So we have to multiply these terms. So I said, well, I first of all figured out my sign. This is positive times negative gives me a negative. Negative times negative gives me positive. So my final answer is going to be positive. I have a 2. I don't have any other coefficients to multiply by, so it stays 2. A times A is A squared. Times a squared again is a to the 4th. X squared times x is x to the 3rd. So the final answer, 2a to the 4th, x to the 3rd. B, 1/2 pi plus 2/3 pi minus pi. So you kind of have to think about pi as a variable here. Okay, which we treat it just like we would a variable. So I needed a common denominator. So I said 3/6 pi plus 4/6 pi. And I really, right here, I could have said minus 6/6 pi, because it's 1 pi, right? So I did 3/6 and 4/6, and I got 7/6 pi minus, now I finally changed it to 6/6 pi. Final answer is 1/6 pi. Number 16, 8.1 times 10 to the negative 6 times 9 times 10 to the 10. 8.1 times 9 is 72.9. 10 to the negative 6 times 10 to the 10 is 10 to the 4th. But this is not proper, okay? I need to change this. My decimal needs to be here. So I say 7.29 times 10 to the 1. That's what this turns into. Then I bring in my 10 to the 4th. My final answer, 7.29 times 10 to the 5th. Number 17. So they wanted us to replace the C and B with 15 and 12. So C squared, 15 squared is 225, minus 12 squared, which is 144. 225 minus 144 gave me 81. Square root of 81 is 9. Number 18 was one of our new types of problems with the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so they gave us a triangle, a right triangle that looked like this, right? And we know that our Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse. Okay, so we have a and b as the legs. Now in this one, they named this bottom one c. They were trying to trick you to see if they could trick you. Okay, so in our figuring, whatever we use as this last number has to be the hypotenuse side, the longest side. Okay, so even though they named this one C, we still have to use 13 as our longest side. So your equation should have looked like C squared plus 5 squared, because they named this one C, and this one was 5, and this one was 13. So C squared plus 5 squared, legs, you square them and then you add them. It's got to be equal to the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so I figured that out. 5 squared is 25. 13 squared is 169. Subtract 25 from both sides. C squared is equal to 144. But I don't want C squared, I want C. So how do I undo something that is squared? I square root it. And I have to do it to both sides. So the square root of C squared is C. Square root of 144 is 12. So this side had to measure 12. And I think it said it didn't give us any units. Number 19 asks about the volume of, it says, how would you find the volume of this right solid? Okay, it's a cylinder. So our formula for volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Remember that capital B is for area of the base. Since this is a cylinder, the area of the base, we got to figure the area of a circle. Okay? So pi r squared, r is 10, 10 squared is 100, times pi is 314 centimeters squared. That's just for the capital B part, the area of the base. Now I have to take that times the height, which is 10 centimeters. Final result, the volume is 3,140 centimeters cubed. Number 20. So they gave us these triangles that were sitting with different angles measured already. So they told us this was a right angle. This had measured 100, and this out here measured 138. So I just went step by step. If this is 138, angle X is supplementary to it, so angle X has to be 42 degrees. If this is 42 and this is 100, I add those, I get 142. Take that away from 180, Y has to be 38 degrees. If this is 38 and this is a right angle, I add those together. That together with angle Z, they have to form 180 degrees. So I took 180 degrees minus the 90 and the 32, that gave me 128. 100 minus 128, and that gave me 52 degrees. Number 21, this is one of our similar triangles problem. So they give us these, they tell us these triangles are similar. They are leaving out what this one measures. So we have to compare corresponding sides. Okay, so I said X is to 6 as 12 is to 8. Okay, X is to 6 as 12 is to 8. And I did my cross multiplying and I found out that X has to be 9. Now in B, it asks us to find the scale factor from the smaller to the bigger. What they're asking is how many times bigger is the bigger one. Okay, so I compared the 12s, the length of 12 and 8. 12 divided by 8 gives me 1.5. So the scale factor is 1.5. The big one, the big triangle is 1.5 times bigger than the small one in the side lengths, okay? Now this was the hard part on C. They wanted us to compare the areas, okay? So when we're talking about area, the area of the big one is not just going to be 1.5 times bigger, okay? Remember, we have to take our scale factor and then square it to find out how much bigger it is. So the bigger triangle, the area is 2.25 times larger than the small one, okay? Number 24. 3 1/3 x minus 1 is equal to 49. So I made 3 1/3 into 10/3 x. I added 1 to both sides, okay? So now I have 10/3 x is equal to 50. So what's happening to x? It's being multiplied by 10/3. How do I undo it? Divide by 10/3, which means multiply by the reciprocal. So I multiplied both sides by 3/10, and I get that x is equal to 15. Okay, last one, distribution problem. When we're going to distribute, something on the outside of the parentheses gets multiplied by everything inside. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times -2 is -6. So the final answer there is 3x minus 6. Okay, guys. If there's anything that you don't understand after we have checked this assignment, please contact me. Send me an email. Send me a phone number where I can reach you and we can talk about it, okay? Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.